Welcome back to another episode of Behind the Unicorn. I'm Jimmy Owens. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Okay, our guest today is Sybil Hale. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. You comfortable?
I'm very comfortable.
Okay, good. Sybil, I gotta have a couple of questions for you out of the gate.
Okay.
Fire away. How many new business people do you meet a week?
Gosh, almost can't keep track.
Okay.
That many.
Yeah. All right. Stay tuned and you'll find out why. When you meet these business people, do you shake hands, fist bump, or elbow tap? Like, you remember like that? Boop.
I do. As a matter of fact, I had a girl yesterday that was like, no, I don't do that. I just do this. And it's like, okay, well, I hug.
Yeah.
So hugs are my thing.
Okay. With the person that tapped your elbow, was she still wearing a mask?
No, believe it or not, she wasn't.
Ah, bummer.
I know.
You just never know. I feel like the tap ones are a little more cautious than the fist bumps. So now, like, the whole handshake thing is totally messed up since COVID, right?
Not really anymore.
Oh, I mean, geez, it's just me then. I'm just all in here.
I'm telling you what, people are handshaking again.
I fist bump and handshake now at the same time.
At the same time?
Well, and yeah.
So you double do it?
Yeah. Just,
okay.
It takes a lot of. Anyways, it's crazy how the handshake and stuff changed. How long do you keep business cards before you trash them?
Oh, that's a good question. My goal is to keep them for one day and then trash them. What I try to do is transfer the information into my phone and then throw them away. But, you know, life is busy, and sometimes you don't get to it. So when that pile gets so high, it goes into a bag, and then it's like, okay, I'll get to it. Yeah. And then after a period of time, it goes to the trash because I can't remember where I met you.
She probably networks so much that you probably see the person before you put them in the phone, right?
Oh, lots of times.
Yeah. So whenever I'm networking, I take the people's card and I put it in my pocket, left pocket. And then I set those cards, I'll either enter them into our contacts immediately, and then whenever they hit the contacts, I throw it away. Or if I've been busy, I put those cards by the sink, my bathroom sink at home, and then I put them in my pocket every day until they make the contact. So anyways, that's how I deal with them.
Good idea.
Congratulations. All right, Sybil, what makes you a unicorn?
I would say probably being a connector, but being genuine. I genuinely really want to connect people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I think that even all the people that I know that know you would say those two things. So how do you connect people?
Well, I like to sit down and have a one-to-one, and I find out what your needs are, what your goals are. Okay. And I always ask them, who is your ideal referral partner? Yeah. Or who do you need?
And then for our audience, what's a one-to-one? What is a...
One-to-one is when I sit down with coffee. A sandwich, adult beverage, whatever it is that people want.
She likes to eat and drink.
Imagine that.
I usually, I like to have meetings at the other person's business. Or if they don't have a location, then I like to have a meeting here because I've seen the insides of the coffee shops and the other places. I really like to get to know that other person too. I usually try to make it at a business location so I can kind of see their culture and see what happens behind the scenes that, you know, out there when you're networking, you don't actually get to see.
I like that idea.
However, I mean, going out and getting that cup of coffee or that food also, you know, supports those other people that you were just networking with, right?
True.
So
if it's a unique business, you know, kind of like what you're doing, I think it's great to come here because you really do get to experience the atmosphere. But when it's somebody that works in an office, not necessarily.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anything else you want to add to what makes you a unicorn? Genuine.
Authentic.
Purposeful. Right. How did you get so genuine?
I think that's just who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been that way. I care about people, always have. I've been in the helps industry since 93, but I think I was always that type of person.
Okay. Awesome. Later on, you're going to find out a couple of things that Sybil does, and I think it's really good for our audience if you want to learn a lot about networking. Stay tuned. We're going to go on to our episode sponsor. If you need help with your brand, vision, idea generation, or video work, check this out. Wow. Well, that was good. Okay. All right, Sybil. I've heard others call you the queen of networking, right?
Yes.
But you also are the owner of what company?
A company called Pros Make Ready Sanitizing Services.
All right. What do you guys do?
Kind of like it says, sanitizing services.
Okay.
So we control the air in your environment, which is key because sick time is definitely an issue. So we knock that down so you don't have it, and therefore we save companies a lot of money on the bottom line because of it.
Yeah. So a lot of people see you out in the community, networking, going, what do you call the networking groups?
Depends on which ones you're talking about.
Okay. I thought they were Mix and Mingles.
I do have Mix and Mingles.
Mix and Mingles is your group, right?
Yes.
But you also network at some other groups.
Most certainly.
But you're just called the Mix and Mingle. Is that like a brand that you guys are developing?
We're working on it, yeah. It's Mix and Mingle Business Networking because we've had people think it was maybe a matching thing. You know, you match people up,
go
like
for a
dating.
Date?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, no.
Mix and
business.
Mingle.
Yeah.
Okay. That's funny. I haven't ever heard of that.
Well, we might have to start something on the side. Who knows?
You never know. So whenever you see Sybil out in the community, don't forget Pros Make Ready. She does something else besides Mix and Mingles, right?
Exactly. Yes.
All right. Awesome. I'm really interested in the Mix and Mingle stuff because I've heard, like, whenever you first started your first one, and then you have a lot more than one going on right now. How did you start the Mix and Mingles? Why did you do them?
Well, it was not on purpose. It was one of those things. I have a friend, Rebecca Trimble, and she works for Alert 360, and she had reached out one day and she says, hey, I want to start a networking group to teach people how to network.
Okay.
And I was like, she's like, can you help me with it? I'm like, I can't. I got a business I really need to be focused on. I said, but I'll do anything I can to help you because I'm all about helping people. I wanted to help her. And so I just mentioned another person that she ought to hook up with, Joan Curtis, and I said, hook up with
that's where
Joan.
you went wrong because you said hook up, and then everyone thought it was a dating.
Ah, see? I need to use words correctly, don't I?
I'm just joking.
So
Sorry.
they got together and everything, and they set up a networking group called OK Connect. And at that very first meeting, at the end of the meeting, they were like, Joan had mentioned, go around, pick 2 people, and set up a lunch date. So I did, but I got to looking around the room, and there was 39 people in the room. And it was like, I knew everybody in the room. So it was like, I started going around and talking to everybody. We're getting together down at WIP to have our lunch. Come join us if you want. If you don't, that's fine. And after I talked to everybody, it's like, I probably ought to call WIPT and find out and make sure they got room for us. So I called WIPT, and they were like, yeah, go ahead and have the room. And I was like, we may have 3 people, or we may have a lot of people. I have no clue. So 38 people showed up. I was blown away. I had no idea that would happen.
So it was just accidental?
For the most part,
you
yes.
guys put that group together, and then it's like, hey, let's go have lunch. So it's just turned into a lunch.
I didn't think that many people would show up. I mean, I come from
everybody likes to eat, I guess.
Well, yeah, but
right?
you know, I had been doing some direct sales previously. You had to beg, plead, and borrow to get somebody to come do something. So when I mentioned that, I never dreamt that everybody would show up or that many people would. So when everybody was in there, we all got our lunch, and while we were eating, it was like, guys, do you see the power in this room? This is unbelievable. We've got to go around and do a 1 minute. So we did a 1 minute. Everybody got to speak about what they do, what they're looking for, what their needs are, what their business is. And after we got done, people were like, well, are you going to do this again? And I'm like, well, I don't know. I said, would you come? And they're like, yeah. It's like, okay. And it's like, how about next week? And I'm like, no, wait. If we do anything at all, we'll do it once a month. And that's kind of where it all started.
So now it's once a week?
No, it's once a month per chapter.
Okay,
yeah.
Per chapter, more than one. Yeah, that's I remember the meeting. So
yeah.
Why do you think some people fail at business networking?
Because I think a lot of people don't really understand how to network. We're not taught. It's just like anything. Being a parent, are we taught how to be a parent? We just do it.
No.
Kind of same thing with networking. There's not a lot of teaching out there. How do you network?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand the value of sitting down and having a one-to-one or a coffee date. That's super important.
So you said date again. That's what.
See? Goodness, these words. It's super important to sit down with people because when you do that, you really get to know who they are, what makes them tick. It gives you, number one, grace for them to understand why they are the people that they are. But number 2, you understand what they're doing. And with that, I want to know, how are you different? because a lot of people are in a lot of these industries that everybody does, or a lot of people do. How are you different than anybody else that's in that industry? Who's your ideal client? What are you looking for? So that when I do talk to someone, their name will pop up in my mind. And then also I'm find out who's your ideal referral partner that brings you business. And that's where it's really key for me, because I love to connect. And I know quite a few people. And so a lot of people come to mind when they're like, well, this type of person works really well with me. Well, I've got some names for you. And it's a true referral. That's my whole goal. Whenever I sit down, I want to make sure before they get up, before we're done, I give them a true referral, not leads, referrals.
Yeah, not an idea to go contact somebody, right?
But here's another thing too. A lot of times people think sitting down and having coffee means you're going to sell me. Has nothing to do with selling. It's totally about you. I want to know you.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Yeah.
What makes you tick?
Yeah.
How can I help you?
Why are you doing what you do?
Yep.
Besides,
Yep.
You need money.
Right. Well, we're all in business and we all
Right,
want to
yeah,
grow.
yeah.
But there's a way to do that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Go-Giver.
Yeah. And that's a book.
Yes, it is. Bob Bird.
Networking don'ts. Got any of those?
Yeah. One thing too is when you do like a networking event and you go around and you try to get as many cards as you can, that's not the way to do it. You want to focus on the people, 3 maybe people that might be a great fit for you. And a lot of times you don't know that walking in. So it just kind of depends. If you've got, we can go so many different areas with this. I mean, if you're somebody who doesn't do a lot of networking, grab a buddy that does networking so they can introduce you to the people that you need to be introduced to. I think you just have to be careful about getting too much, because it's more of a marathon. It's not, a sprint.
Yeah.
I got to get everybody's stuff. We'll go into this in a little bit about collecting people's information. We do that with our mix and mingles, so we'll go into how we do that and whatnot and why we do that.
Okay.
So,
yeah. Yeah, I call them the car dealers, right? The car dealers come in, can I have your card? Can I have your card? And then they go, here's my card. And it's like, I don't even probably want to sit down and have the coffee with you, or, it's hard to make that call.
Right.
Just because they're not even in the same mindset of where.
It's not quality, it's quantity. And that's not what networking is.
Yeah.
Networking also is not selling. You're not selling.
Right. Yep. It's building your network.
Yes. And getting into everybody else's network.
Sure. Yep. And how's that work for you?
Really well.
Yeah.
Because I genuinely want to help people. I want to sit down and really get to know you.
Yeah.
And that has really transferred into a lot of business, but also helping people. That makes my heart happy.
Okay. So a don't that I have that has popped into my mind is whenever you go, say if you go with that other friend or that other business person that, and there's usually like tables or something like that, don't sit down with your friend at that table.
Right.
You and your friend have to have the upfront agreement that I'm not sitting with you because I know you already, so you have to sit on, or I'm going to sit on the other side of the room, because then you're just expanded your network. Because if not, you're just sitting there hanging out and no one's talking to you because you guys are talking about the thing that you already talked about in the car ride.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah, not a good use of your time.
Right.
Split it up.
Yep.
Networking dues, what do you think?
Networking dues. Follow-up is key. When you do get that card, make sure to do a follow-up. And I try to do it that same day. I try to text them and just say, hey, it was nice meeting you. I hope you found value. Love to sit down with you, learn more about you, your business, and how we can help one another.
Yeah.
And then see about setting up a date.
You've helped a lot of other companies.
Yes.
Right? So the mix and mingles that you have going on, free to attend or not?
They are free to attend. The only requirement is you need to buy your lunch and or a drink.
Okay.
And the reason being is because we tell these establishments whenever we ask for a room, we always want to have a separate room. So we're not bothering the patrons that they already have coming in.
Yep.
And we tell them we're going to bring a crowd of people and everybody's going to buy from you, whether it be lunch or it be a drink. We always do them at lunchtime for the most part, 11:30 to 1.
Okay.
And so that is a for sure thing.
Do you, because I've heard there's rumor on the street that eventually they may not be free, right?
Possible.
Possibly. Get in while you can.
That's right.
How many groups do you have in Oklahoma right now? How many mix and mingles?
We have 16 chapters.
Okay. And then, so all Oklahoma City Metro and Edmond, and that's
Everywhere.
it?
Oh, no. We're
Okay.
in Guthrie. We're in, let's say, Tri-City, Shawnee, Mustang, YUKON. So that's kind of the surrounding and everything in between.
Okay. And then do you go to all those meetings?
I try to.
Yeah.
As many as I can get to.
Okay, that's cool. But you started it.
I started it, but I'll tell you what, I have the most amazing leaders that have stepped up to run these. I have all kinds of people that step up and they're like, hey, I want to start one in Arcadia. I want to start one in Piedmont. I want to start one here. It's like, great, here's what you need to do. And our whole goal is to support a small mom and pop. Mom and pops are struggling. Everybody's struggling, right? So let's support the mom and pops and help them stay in business. So find a mom and pop that has a separate room that can hold anywhere from 30 to 50 people. That's not an easy thing to find.
Right.
I'll tell you one place that's really hard is Edmond. Really, really hard. So we'll go with chains if we need to, but our real heart is mom and pops. Our heart for this whole thing has turned into, which was, I didn't mean to start it, but what it has turned into.
You fell into success.
I did on this, and I feel like it's a God thing 100%. I really, really do. And I just was an open vessel, and I just try to obey. But the whole thing is bringing business professionals together with the community over local food while building stronger communities. That's the goal for what we're doing. So the whole goal is every place that we go, we want to get all the establishments around there, whether it be the manager, whether it be the owner, whoever it be that is an influential person in that business, to come to these mix and mingles. Come to these, meet the people in the community. And therefore you grow in relationship, which then in turn turns into business, but it builds a real strong community, and that's my goal. I want to see these communities strong because we're living in a crazy world, and we need community.
Sure. Yeah, I totally agree. Maybe even a good fit is restaurants could reach out to you to be part of, you know, I mean, it's a great way to bring in their own business, but then they can hold those meetings themselves.
Most certainly. Yep.
So if you know of a good restaurant that needs some more foot traffic.
And we need an extra room, though. We really, we don't want to have to bother, we don't want to bother your regular people, right? Because we clap, we make a little bit of noise. Everybody gets an opportunity to share who they are, what they do, and what they're looking for. So everybody gets an opportunity to talk 30 seconds, 45 seconds, maybe a minute, depends on how many people are in the room. And,
you know, it's really fun to watch how these meetings have grown, because I went to one not too long ago, and it's like you have sponsorships now. You know, different people get to talk. You have text messaging going out. You have check-ins now. So you can check in by text message. And that's a long ways from, hey, let's go have lunch at this bakery. And, you know, everyone's just there having lunch. You know, there's definitely more of a system to this. Well, as we keep growing, it's like it keeps morphing. We keep growing, and it's kind of like we're almost 2 years old. We'll be 2 years old in May of this year. Okay. So you started in 2021? So we're toddlers now. Okay, awesome. Well, that's exciting. 16 groups? 16. 16 groups in Oklahoma within 2 years, and then it sounds like you could also be expanding out of state, no? Very possible. We've had some. She's going to be charging for this soon, so you better. Well, you better get grandfathered in. Here's the deal with that. My heart was always to keep this thing free, right? Because think of it, when you start out in a business, you don't have money. You just don't have the money to do marketing and all that. But you need to be connected with people. That's why I wanted to keep it free, right? But we're going to have to protect the name. We're getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and because this is my heart, is to help people. I don't want somebody to come in and take the Mix and Mingle name, start a Mix and Mingle of their own, and then do things totally different and ruin what we have built. So we're going to need to protect it. Well, it costs money to do that. That's why we're having to look at maybe some different options. There may be turning it into a business, or maybe turning it into a nonprofit. There's options, and so we're looking at all the different options and seeing what is the best way to do this, and try to keep it as minimal as we can keep it for everybody. How have you seen like networking just work for other businesses? Like how have these Mix and Mingles worked for other businesses? Astronomical growth in their business, astronomical growth in their self-confidence. Okay. How does the Mix and Mingles compare to other networking groups that you've been to? I will give a huge shout out to Gold Star. And the reason being is I started Gold Star probably 6-7 years ago, and that was my very first paid group that I've been a part of.
And when
so
I
you
first
paid to be a member.
I did.
Okay.
And I was doing free networking before then. And I thought, building a business, why do I need to pay to network, right? There is value in both. And I didn't realize that until I went to a Gold Star. When I went to Gold Star, I seen the structure. And I love the idea that they track things. So you're paying to be a part, but then they track the referrals, referral dollars, and one-to-ones. And it made me realize the value of what I was getting. Plus, they have a tip. Every time that you meet, they have a business tip. The difference with having a paid industry-exclusive group is those people become your mini-me's. They know you well. You know, like, and trust. You sit down and have those one-to-ones. You see each other every week. You learn more about them. That they become truly very intentional about referring you. And I think you need that too. But when you start out in a business, you don't have the money for that sort of thing. That's why the free ones are really, really good. But they're not all created equal. The thing that's cool about Mix and Mingle business networking, number one, it's a very friendly atmosphere. Did you notice that when you came? Did it seem like a friendly atmosphere?
Yep.
Atmosphere?
Oh, yeah.
Very, very friendly. We're based on the go-giver. It's all about what can I do for you, not, hey, I'm selling this. I want you to buy this from me. We don't have any of that happening. It's all about what can I do for you. And I think people feel that. I feel like everybody that comes has that same mentality, and I think that's why it's grown like it has. Because we're all genuine about what can I do for you. We want to see you succeed, because when you succeed, I'm going to succeed.
Right. Or you will remember me, right?
Yep.
Hopefully. We're building a relationship.
Sure.
You're going to know me. But I always want to see everyone around us, around me succeed.
Most certainly.
It's super great and joyful to see that happen.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add about Mix and Mingles?
One of the things that is a great value also whenever you come to Mix and Mingle, we have a QR code. And so you scan that QR code when you first come. That's going to collect your name, your number, the name of your business, and your email. 1 to 3 days afterwards, you will get an email with everybody that attended, their name, number, business, and all that. So the whole goal for that is for you to start building relationship. And with that relationship, what happens? Business happens, right? So that's the whole goal. But I think it's a great advantage because when you have 30 to 50 plus people in the room, there's no way you can talk to everybody. And this way you don't have to go around and carry all your cards, right? Certain people you want to give your card to.
Right.
But it's so much easier because you're going to get that email. And then from that point, I recommend people go ahead and send out an email and just say, hey, I didn't get a chance to meet you, or I did get a chance to meet you. I'd love to get to know you better, you, your business, how we can help each other. Yeah.
Make yourself an email template just for that response. Plug it in and go.
And then also I tell them to put a little bio in there because they need to realize we're all in business trying to grow business. So this one-to-one is not just to learn about you. I'm hoping it's going to turn around and be about me too, right? Yeah. So we put in there what your bio is, and then at the end, again, back to you, hey, what does next week look like? So start out about you, middle about me, and then at the end, you again.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Anything else? I don't want to skip out.
Not that I can think of off the moment.
Okay. Business hacks for our audience. Life hacks. What do you think?
Throw me a hack out about you. I'll
about
think
me?
about it. Yeah.
Well, I think I got one for you.
You do? Okay.
So all of the QR codes, all of the messages and emails that go out, all of that communication among 16 groups currently. You do all of that?
I have a virtual assistant. I have people.
Okay, you have people.
You gotta have people.
So maybe your life and business hack is delegate,
have people.
Right?
Yeah.
Delegate, do.
Yes.
Do
you
what
can't
you're
do
good
it all
at.
yourself.
Right.
Especially when you have a business besides. I mean, this is not a business. I don't make any money doing this right now at all. So I can't afford to put all that effort into it, and I don't have the know-how. So super important to be able to have people.
So she's just built 16 networking groups, just, easily.
Well, I kid you not, it's the village of people.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It really is.
Well, I mean, that's why we're talking about it so much, because it's a very unique story.
Yeah.
I mean, it's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What actions would you like our viewers to take? I know what I would like for you guys to take. I would like you to look up Google, Mix and Mingle.
Business networking. Now, that's probably going to be on Facebook, probably not on Google.
Okay. Well, as of right now.
I don't know if you can put it on
Google. It'll hit on Google. We already looked it up today. So they don't have a website up yet, but they have 16 groups going on. Just Google Mix and Mingle, Business Network, see what groups near you.
Yep.
Go and attend. Let Sybil and them know that you've seen them on Behind the Unicorn. That'd be kind of nice.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Anything else, Sybil? We'll wrap it up.
I think that's all, unless there's something else you have a question on.
No, I think that's it. Good.
Perfect.
All right,
Yay.
guys. Don't forget to subscribe. Oh, gosh. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you to DesignTunnel for being our episode sponsor. And thank you, Sybil. Appreciate
Thank you, Jimmy.
You bet.
I appreciate you.
Woohoo! High five.